That would be amazing, actually, if you if you think about it. And how much is still possible in HGC China, despite so many matches being played, and with only one play day left, so much, especially in the middle of the table, could still change. We're going to Volskaya Techer. We continue the theme of yesterday with so many teams preferring to play in this battleground.
There is also one other possibility, and that is if KT don't win a map today and Team Nut 2-0 both their games, then Team Nut could overtake KT.
Well, let's not get crazy here.
It's still possible. It's possible, okay? I believe in the Nuts. As we see KT starting off with the Genji ban.
Yeah, it was led through once yesterday, and yeah, it's actually crazy if you think about it. How many games was that? 7 games, 2 matches each. That's 14. Out of 14 games, Genji was only led through once.
Yeah. That is pretty crazy, actually. But it's not that unusual. It's just pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah.
As we are starting off, there goes the Deckard Cain being removed here. So we're likely to see some White Mane or some Alexstrasza action.
We're definitely not going to see any Timeless Diablo action for now, because the Lord of Terror gets denied, as he should be sometimes. But the Irel gets picked up immediately here for a Kiaru, very likely here coming in from KT.
Are we on Braxis?
No, this is Volskaya.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I got confused. The Overwatch and StarCraft music is a little similar at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, Braxis... Wait, that's not... Wait, no, sorry, I was thinking Volskaya. Wait, that's Braxis music, but...
But you know what? Braxis was left open, and...
it was.
It's not BTG playing here, mind you, so the Masters of Braxis have yet to play, I think in our penultimate or third last game.
It was the A-Team and RPG who picked the other 2 times.
That is correct, in theory, yes.
As we see the one bringing out the White Mane and the Thralls, so a little bit of extra sustain without going for too much extra tankiness yet.
Yeah, no need to show your cards all at once, but as you said, the Garrosh White Mane, very, very powerful. It gets denied for a good reason then. However, whenever I see Garrosh plus Irel, like it's definitely a strong combo, but what that always makes me think of is the lack of hard initiation, right? You don't have those super good gap closers. Irel can do that, but she needs to basically arrive from a surprising angle, otherwise she's just too easy to be dodged.
So usual bans here would be a Phoenix for the one, but it would really fit their comp, so I expect we're probably going to see a Hammer or something like that. There it is. Once again, removing those assassins as they get first priority, and KT haven't prioritized any themselves. KT, on the other hand, with the majority of their top picks either picked or banned already, with Hugo already covering here, likely the Thrall, so Malthael moves a little bit further down. It's more likely to be a Muradin or something like that, maybe Johanna, a form of tank that could really deal with the Garrosh effectively.
Yeah, I agree. I would have definitely banned a warrior here. And Nubarak for the first time, second time I think, yesterday was the first time. For the second time now, actually makes it to the banning board. And that makes a lot of sense. Yesterday we've seen how much work an Nubarak can do, as long as he's not played by Misaka.
Just keeps winning. When Jorge played him yesterday, he had a wonderful time, was able to get kill after kill after kill. So as such, not too surprising to see that banned, but his Muradin is still pretty freaking effective.
We've also seen how to shut down a Nubrak, though. Misaka from SPT, he was punished quite heavily for his reckless engages over and over again by Diablo. And Diablo basically...
Wasn't it?
Sorry?
Was it by Timeless or... No, it wasn't. Okay, that was by BTG.
Yeah, it was by BTG. 619 really showed the Beetle how it's done. And that's what happens, you know, when you have good crowd control, and especially... really strong, hard-hitting auto attacks, then a Nubrak can be countered pretty easily. So, Cassia, speaking of strong auto attacks, makes it through next to a Jaina. That could all of a sudden be a lot of damage, Teacher.
The Cassia coming in, and because of that, very curious to see both Phoenix and Reyna passed over by both teams here, not even banned, just given up completely. The final pick in a reaction to that Cassia coming onto the board could have been either of them, but because of that, Cassia ends up being the Junkrat, so they have a little bit more ability damage to go with it. A solid final pick by the one that makes me like their draft a little bit more in terms of just actual standard play and being able to play around this Cassia well.
Yeah, I mean, Junkrat is really punishing sometimes against the Cassia, who's relying on short-range attacks, especially if she doesn't go for Thunderstroke. And that can also be punished very easily by a Junkrat. Good concussion onto Cassia, maybe even into a steel trap. We've seen this several times. Diligent Chinese Junkrat player will be able to execute that maneuver. And all of a sudden, she remains rooted without that physical armor that makes her oh so tanky. And you know, Junkrat Riptire is never really bad. No movement, no physical armor is going to protect you from the Riptire's damage. So an acceptable pick, a really nice pick. I think Junkrat is still a little underutilized here in China. Not saying it's underutilized, but a little. I would like to see a little more because other regions, especially Europe, they rely on the Junkrat so much at the moment.
Yes, they do. They put a lot of pressure onto it, and it's nice to see that adjustment now in HGC China as we are preparing to head into game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. It is on Volskaya Foundry, and it is TheOne versus KT.
It's going to be a good one here. First game of the day, of the final day of regular season play, with TheOne starting things off here. Hugo, Keshi, Meng, ZJZ, and Huohuo.
And on the right, it is KT with TWTWT, Kiaru, Lotus, Timeless, and Bad. And apparently it was a software issue yesterday, and as such, Timeless, his name has been fixed.
Hey, we learn and improve things here in HGC China. Fantastic.
Marvelous indeed. So, we're actually seeing a couple, like, still very high meta picks, but it's nice to see, like, all the top picks for these teams sort of being removed, like Decad's missing, the Diablo's missing, and Nubarak's missing, all of those top high of the party, the Reyna and the Phoenix both missing. So we are getting a bit of variety in this game, and it's cool to see. Speaking of variety, Crash Lightning on level 1 for Thrall.
Yeah, that is still something China likes to do, especially on Volskaya Foundry, where there is so much skirmishing going on, where you need to establish dominance over those turn-in points by having superior poke and AoE damage. I mean, Muradin was actually flung into the backline here, escapes to safety though. The interrupt and knockback of Irel came a little too late here. Now, I'm not sure if you watched it, Tetcher, during the drafting. We saw Alex Strasser's current win rate in China. And did you see it?
No, I did not.
What do you think it was, with China relying so much on the Dragon Queen?
Alex Strasser's win rate? I'm going to go with 23%. She's not she's always played into deck and they always lose.
That is actually more savage than it actually is right now.
Oh.
No, it was, I think it was 38 or 36, something along those lines.
Still pretty low.
Still pretty low. Given the fact on how much pressure and love China is showing her, I think it's actually surprisingly low. So yeah, the Dragon... really, and I think it explains why Chinese teams have, you know, let go of her a little bit. I don't recall that many like Strasser games anymore yesterday.
It doesn't surprise me that she's got
No,
such a
not
low
at
win
all.
rate. They don't know how to draft her. They blindly draft her into Deckard repeatedly when it's repeatedly proved to be a bad idea. They just pick it because, oh, it's Infernal Shrines, therefore Strasser. If you're going to pick Strasser, ban Deckard. That will make me happy.
Why pick a good support when I could be a big, mean dragon?
I mean, dragons are cool, so this is an effective argument. But for now, we continue to rotate around the map, trying to pile on the pressure. Very solid 4-man rotations for both teams, playing not really into each other, just against the minion waves, playing a little bit of 4-man PvE at the moment. A little bit of rotation interruption, though, and a tiny bit of scatter arrow damage and stacking. Ignore all distractions coming in for Hanzo. With simple geometries, that's interesting.
That is really curious from Kashi here, showing us this talent combination for the first time. I mean, ignore distractions. Not only does it instant kill minions, which can sometimes be nice, especially when you want to immediately secure a globe, but it also increases Hanzo's auto attack damage after killing a minion for a short period of time. So maybe that's the thought process here, keeping your distance while in lane from someone like Garrosh.
So here we can see why this Yarel, Timeless dropping low to the Blizzard, but he's able to AoE damage. Everyone's low. They'd have to pop it immediately just to live, but that does certainly deny it. But they popped their turrets.
Look at the turrets.
Well. A little bit less value. Get him. Who's gonna win? Red or blue?
Who's gonna win? It's the red turret winner
with 1 health left. But yeah, the fact able to survive that. But you can see why Yarel was actually in this group lane. The reason Thrall's here is because he went Crash Lightning, so obviously someone has to fill in for him. Junkrat's effective solo laner. The reason Cassia filled in is 1, Yarel will die to Junkrat because he will not die, but he will out-poke her and be able to clear the lane quick enough that Yarel will get nothing done. And 2, having Yarel in that 4-man rotation allows you to try for that quick biotic emitter, and that is exactly what we saw because she has that quick knockback which can help secure an objective.
Right, Hugo yet again in trouble. They really seem to like that Muradin focus up to this point, but he refuses to die. He really knows when the limit has been reached and when it's safer to dwarf toss out to safety here. ZJZ basically has to work double time to keep his tank alive. The Meng is dominating this fight now, though, with full HP and his long distance poke. They're probably going to be able to poke out KT here.
Look at the positioning of Hanzo here, making the most of his level 4 talent, pinging a minion and then pinging a hero, because every time he pings a minion, his attack range increases, thanks to that ignore all distractions, which means he can rotate between pinging a hero and pinging a minion every single time. He does still go with the scatter arrow quest. I was kind of thinking maybe he would go with sharpened arrowheads because of this, being able to reduce armor from further away, but it looks like this is just...
Maybe it was a misclick now. I'm not so sure.
It might be a misclick, yeah. I'm trying to justify it, but misclick is possible.
Sometimes. It's very unfortunate, but it happens every now and then. Even to the best of us, which we're basically watching right now, the best of China.
We see the continued 0% for both teams as Hulk was able to hold the point, but there is the fortification camp being dropped, and the One don't really have one of their own anymore, so KT keep control here. Remember, the One need to win every game today if they want any chance of taking first seed. The second they lose a game, it's over. They physically can't take first, and BTG are going to BlizzCon.
Very true. Every win matters for the One. That's why they're playing so diligently here as well. They're really trying to avoid any mistake possible here. This turret was kind of wasted by KT. There was really nothing to fight over with. So let's see if they're not going to regret that. The own turret coming in for the One might prove to be a valuable asset to actually secure control over this protector zone. In the meantime, we see Jaina pushing, pushing top lane. Cassia is nowhere to be found. She's doing the mercenary camp. A quadruple stun coming in from Timeless.
That's a lot of stacks. That's going to feel really good.
Oh, yeah.
It's Timeless hovering in that corner, trying to bait in Huhu, but Huhu now with that turret is going to be able to zone away the point. And finally, we see the One beginning to tick up that Tree Glove Protector.
Yeah, the Tree Glove Protector is going to be so important. We saw the value of that objective yesterday when SBT tried to make work with that Nazeebo, which just didn't really seem to work out. Huhu is just holding the line, trying to protect his buddy in crime, Thrall, who escapes the fangs of Garrosh for now. But there's so much damage, and the Dragon Queen as well being popped immediately. With that much damage and that much zoning, I don't think they can hope to hold this for now.
Prediction, seeing how this fight is going. Thrall will complete Crash Lightning before 10 minutes. He's got
that might be the case, yeah.
Jade has already finished her quest. They jump on the point, contested on 99% as they get the toss up. Good damage onto Kiaru, but she's tanking through in the background, turning onto Huhu. Good knockback, and that is a kill on Huhu.
And that is huge. That is a big hold for KT. If only they didn't lose Lotus there. Why did you go in that far? I mean, he bought time for his teammates to get the big protector, but it was kind of unnecessary in my opinion.
Well, the protector's still a pretty effective pushing tool here, so we'll have to see how much value it can get. Because if they can get some good multiple towers from this, then it's still going to be value. Both teams hit level 10. That's a Divine Reckoning coming in for the White Mage, the first one we have seen with HGC China.
Looks like the One says, you know what, we're done with protecting everybody. We need more damage. And Divine Reckoning can be both. It can be additional healing and damage at the same time, because that's how White Mane works. If you drop it onto the enemy heroes and you have several people being affected by your trait, you're going to heal them up like crazy. It works very similar to a Starfall, just better.
The Thrall's got 26 stacks of Crash Lightning. I think my prediction's pretty much on schedule as we see the Protector moving forward. Thrall's still not locking it in. Both Sundering and Earthquake can work with this Divine Reckoning. Sundering's are more instant, so if you drop Divine Reckoning on the Sundering targets, you're obviously going to get more damage off, which means more healing.
So, also knock them out, though, so I would go with the Earthquake. I think that is the safe one.
It's Sundering coming in and insta-kill, using the Sundering. Not insta-kill, Lotus getting healed up, Lifefinder, and the Dragon Arrow not enough to finish off bad either. Actually, Riptide might be enough. It's chasing through, clutch damage, and Huhu picks up the kill with the Protector down. They chase forward, Timeless with the Warlord's challenge as they try to chase down and kill Kiaru, or Timeless. They'll take either.
They take either, indeed. The big toss saving Kiara with that self-heal. Now, can Timeless make it out alive as well? Yes, he can. Even gets the return kill onto Hugo, who on Thrall went in a little too deep. And here comes a full HP Cassia. You do not want to stand close to his spears. Hugo needs to evacuate as fast as he can. Stays alive for now, but that was one hell of a fight by KT. I think they really salvaged that situation very nicely after getting caught initially.
They really did. That was a great recovery here as we see KT now moving on to the biotic emitter. Huhu is zoning it, but no one is even close to being in range to assist him here. So he's just going to drop a Storm Bolt and back up. Doesn't want to get himself killed. And there's now 1 minute for Thrall to get 2 Crash Lightning stacks. Come on, Thrall. No, don't do the Mercs. You're ruining my prediction.
Either way, he's going to hit like a truck once that is completed. And even later on at 16, if he decides to go for Thunderstorm, which I would encourage very much to do so, especially against Cassia and, you know, the vulnerability that she has towards ability damage, that Thrall is going to look mighty scary. However, as it is, TheOne is actually on the back foot, and I never thought we would get into the scenario in which KT is clearly like the dominating team up to this point. They were able to get that fort in the middle. Yeah. They take almost 1 level lead over the favorites here on paper. They're playing one hell of a series up to this point. My
prediction is so close, but it's not happening. Not happening. 15 seconds. I'm pretty sure he still has 2 stacks left to get. Though, might be able to get Timeless. Oh my god, they're absolutely going to get Jaina. Beautiful Storm Bolt Sundering. And, well, Perfect Storm is complete, so we're taking it. And as such, that was a beautiful pickup there by TheOne. A little boosted experience here as both teams do have level 13.
Yeah, but like that was a surprising combo here. I don't think Jaina expected that, and I don't think her Ice Block was ready either yet. Although the fights have been going well for KT, I don't think Jaina was able to dish out enough damage to basically complete the 15,000 hero damage with her trait. But even if she had Ice Block, like she didn't have vision on either Thrall nor the Hanzo, so that came out of literally nowhere. So it's hard to react in time.
It was a great surprise move here. That is 1 stack left of Crash Lightning to get. Go on, Hugo. Zap. Zap him. Boom! Crash Lightning complete, and now he's only 2 levels away from Thunderstorm as well.
Anyway, as we said, that is a disgusting amount of damage now, as long as he doesn't hit the same target twice with Chain Lightning. And that is officially the fastest Crash Lightning we've seen in HGC China.
Still, that it is. In 10 minutes and 40-something seconds. Almost a full 20 seconds faster than the next fastest. We also see the Thunderstroke already complete as well. All the stacking talents doing a marvelous job today.
That's really showing you how brawl heavy, how skirmish heavy that map can be. You know, Volskaya Foundry, it is so rewarding to sometimes go for quest talents on this map. Here, the water elemental comes through on Meng. Jaina is trying to flank him though, but the concussion mine says no. Now ZJZ is feeling a little bit of pain here. In trouble, surrounded by 5 KT members.
Triple Dragon Arrow Sundering, focus onto Cassia, trying to lock her down, but Cassia just wrecks Thrall, and the beautiful turnaround White Mage gets deleted. Divine Reckoning doing not enough healing at all there, as they are forced to back up.
They're forced to back up here. The Dragon Queen was used there as well for good measure. I think that was a little bit of an overreaction, but hey, sometimes, especially when playing against a team like TheOne, you just want to make sure that you get this objective no matter the cost, because with this next Protector, they could even decide to maybe send someone off the platform and take the 2 mercenary camps first, but no, they are here to stay. They want that level 16 with that fort in the top lane. They're 100% guaranteed to get it. So yeah, Tetcher, it all comes down to TheOne defending. Now, if they lose just 1 more member, this might even be a keep in top lane.
Hugo's able to survive. Once again, the fort goes down. KT continue to hold the lead. With Jaina cleaning up bot lane, the classic strategy that we have seen before of Jaina solo lanes.
Yeah.
But TheOne still on the defense, still in the game and about to hit 16, even up those talents. With Meng backing up, aggressively moving forward to both scout and see if he can catch anyone. He is going to see Alexstrasza move past. Alexstrasza sees him though, and as such that forces to back up.
A little bit of a sloppy execution there by KT. I feel like they're using too many abilities, too many long cooldown abilities, especially the laser onto mere minions here. They could have actually done that onto enemy heroes, zoned them out a little bit. There goes another one. So the towers fall 100%. The question is, how brave, how reckless does KT want to play this? They're playing super safe. They're one of the most aggressive teams in the league, with Timeless normally making those pretty much reckless calls very often. But now they're playing super focused, very well concentrated. And, you know, they're just using the long distance poke of the Protector here. They realize, you know what, if we leave that Protector in a bad spot, that lockdown potential of TheOne with that Sundering, with that Dragon's Arrow is going to punish us super hard.
Timeless still alive for the moment, waiting for his opportunity to strike. I don't think he's died yet, has he?
No, I don't believe so. I think he's made great plays. You know, ever since he's tempered down a little bit, he has calmed his horses. He's a much more solid-looking tank player.
And KT holding the point. Timeless moves forward, actually.
Securing another item.
Cage, yeah. And now 2 healing pulses. Stormbolt does not land. 2 healing pulses, 1 turret. Looking 2 turrets make that, and their next turret available, so KT can, in fact, fully item kit themselves here. And we will likely see that in a little bit after they've gone for the other mercenary. The one, though, is going to take the opportunity, take the initiative to move over and, well, steal that fortification camp away, prevent that item monopoly.
I think at some point the one has to make a play. They can't run away from KT until the end of time here, because eventually they're going to get out valued and out-soaked here. Garrosh is the focus target, gets healed even by the Lifefinder. Hugo in trouble. The Divine Reckoning heals for a big amount, though.
1 turret was already used here. The other one is picked up. Riptide trying to chase down. Is going to really just hit Timeless just to try and zone him away. In fact, pushes him into ZZ, who is going to get dropped here. Meng is pinging in grenades, but they are not doing enough. With the turret being used, he's trying to shift the aggro of the turret onto Jaina, but it does not work. Jaina Icebox, and that is going to be a 4-for-0 in favor of KT.
Where has this KT been all phase long? They are showing up so strong after already taking maps of, you know, other teams like the A-team in pretty much uncontested fashion. Sorry, I think they played Team Nut yesterday, not the A-team. But yeah, this team is looking like a whole different one. They're in disguise, it almost seems like. Are they really the players that we've seen all phase long here? Because they're dominating one of the best teams in the league. The one like it was just another day in the office.
They really are, and right now KT are words are hard. BTG are KT's biggest fans because all they need is this one map, and they are probably sitting in the crowd giving a good almighty cheer as KT are approaching level 20.
That's a good point. All it takes is 1 loss for the one here. They don't even need to lose the entire series. All it takes is 1 game, and that would basically bury their dreams of ever becoming pole position again in China. And as you said, beyond the game, they're going to be very happy with that result if it actually goes all the way through. However, the game is not decided yet. No keeps off the one have been taken. They find themselves in the position that they put so many other teams into. The question is, how can they play from this unusual, you know, position they find themselves in? How are they able to come back from behind when they're not in the lead for once?
Martial Law coming in for the Cassia, keeping herself at range. Blink, the Ice Blink for Jaina, trying to keep herself safe. She is one of the more vulnerable targets, even with Ice Block. The repeated Lifebinder coming in here for Alexstrasza, once again, keeping the back line in and the front line safe. Titanic Might, and currently, Yrel yet to pick her level 20. Curious and curious.
Yeah, we could see the Seraphim, of course, making her unstoppable against Thrall. I mean, against so many stuns available for the one, that is probably the most valuable choice. Sometimes we see the upgraded Ardent Defender, you know, if you want to provide AoE healing to your team. And I particularly like the repeated Lifebinder, because now I think Timeless can almost play as aggressively as he wants to. He's going to get that repeated healing as long as Alexstrasza keeps herself safe and sound. That should be no real problem anymore.
All right. Can the one hold themselves together here? Remember, it's not even about just getting first seed at this point. They want to keep second. The less games you play on playoffs day, the better chance you have, of course, of going to BlizzCon, because the closer you are to the top of the table. And with only 2 seeds available, every seed is important.
Yeah.
As the Protector is picked up again by KT. Level 20 with a Protector. All keeps up, though. And Muradin currently soaking level 20 for his team, or at least trying.
Yeah, level 20 will be there shortly for the one. Can they reach it in time, though, before they lose a keep, before their core might even take damage? Muradin, the main tank, he's needed to keep those gaps shut here. They cannot fight without Muradin. They need to be careful not to get caught by this Protector here. Good distance poke, though, from Hanzo and Junkrat, the double Overwatch backline.
20 achieved thanks to that ignore all distractions, in fact. So he survives. Muradin is ported back, so he's now available. His keep will go down, but only 41% left on this Protector. So as such, the one may be able to hold this, assuming that no one dies and they're able to do enough damage to this Immortal, to this Protector, sorry. But they're moving in. Play of the game being dropped here as the Dragon Queen with the upgraded redemption here as they pull forward. Meridian diving in with the Avatar Sundering once again to TWT as the Protector focuses onto the core. The one, they're starting to see their dreams seep away. The Protector's still alive. Junkrat finishes it off, but they need to stop the core.
They need to kill stuff right now.
Health with the Abundance, and BTG are going to BlizzCon, and KT take game number 1.
KT not pulling off a CE here this time around. They finished the core in glorious, super straight up fashion here from start to finish. That was probably the best game we have seen from